Hey guys, T-Bolov here, and today I wanted to take a look at what the new Tier 8 Italian battleship, premium battleship, the Roma. It is available in the new shipyard for copper. Total of, I think it was 60 you needed to get. And yeah, it's definitely a boat that I think is going to be worth the investment. Rumor is next month, starting in December, we are going to be receiving some steel and or copper as part of league rewards. I haven't heard any more details about how that's going to work, so a day or two when we get to December, we'll know more about that. In the meantime, trying to grind to get copper is definitely a long process. I did spend some gold that I had to open copper crates. I'm not going to talk about how much I spent. It doesn't really matter. This is my one vice. Don't judge me. Anyways, this is my personal account, by the way, not my press account. I got it on my press account as well, but I don't have an Italian commander, and haven't gotten around to sending a request to Wargaming to send me one. So anyways, I did all this through my personal account where I do have the Roma here, and yeah, don't judge me. Anyways, onto the boat. So far, I am really enjoying it. Tier 8 battleships are, I think, a fun class and tier to play. Some really good boats this tier, and Roma, I think, definitely fits in pretty good with them. We'll do a quick rundown here of some of the stats and kind of how it compares to some of the other tier 8s. Hit points, 50,000, 70 is kind of the base number there. Number 2 for tier 8 battleships behind Bismarck and Tirpitz. Most of the others are kind of in the 48, 49 range, so it's not a huge amount of hit points over most of the tier 8s, but it is number 2 in the class and the tier. Torpedo damage reduction is crazy high with the historical camouflage, which I'll get to in a minute. You get a 6% bonus, so I'm at 31.8 right now. There is a possibility between the elite bonus and the historical camo and the equipment slot 3, you could max your torpedo damage reduction out at just a hair shy of 40%, which is insane. The base on this is, I think, 30 before the historical camo bonus, but either way, I don't really have anything buffing it other than the camo, and 31.8 already makes it number 1 for tier 8 battleships. The next closest is Alabama at 2385, and so there's quite a bit of a difference between those two. It kind of does need that torpedo damage reduction, though, because the AA is super bad. We'll get to that in just a second. But it is incredibly high. Max speed 29.45 knots is very quick for a tier 8 battleship. Only thing faster than it is the Richelieu and the Gascon. They both have a slightly higher, about a half knot higher max speed. So the Roma is second fastest tier 8 battleship, and it definitely moves pretty quick. The max traverse speed here, the rudder shift speed, that is actually the second or third fastest, I guess, behind the French battleship. So it's got a very quick rudder turn speed, so it actually does turn pretty good. So the acceleration is decent, but the top speed and the turning are both pretty good. So it's been pretty fun to play. 381 millimeter main guns, 15-inch main guns. You got 3x3, 2 turrets up front, 1 in the back. Reload time is pretty typical. It's right in the neighborhood, a little bit faster than the U.S. battleships, a little bit slower than everybody else, but it's not too bad. I do have elite gun operators, my elite bonus. We'll take a look at those again here in a minute, but that has dropped my reload speed just a little bit. Main gun range at 14 kilometers is second worst at tier 8. Only thing worse than it is the Gascon. So it definitely has a shorter minigun range. It's outranged by pretty much everything else at tier 8, but the guns hit decent. The accuracy is okay. It's kind of trolly. From one salvo to next, you'll go from hitting 8 out of 9 at range to hitting 2 at range, and so that's a little frustrating. I'm not running dispersion in slot 1, as you can see. I do have the secondary range buffed. We'll kind of get into the equipment in a little bit too, but the The main gun accuracy is okay, I guess. It does come secondaries, 152 millimeter 6-inch secondary guns. There's 4 turrets, 2 on each side of the boat, so you get a broadside of 2 turrets times 3 guns, so 6 shots. And then there are auto secondaries. There's a total of 6 single guns on each side of the boat as well. Those kick in at just over 4 kilometers, so kind of nice to have the auto secondaries, especially if you get rushed by a destroyer. Anti-air, as you can see, is very bad. It's German Battleship bad. So if you find yourself getting focused by carriers, which a smart carrier might try to come after you knowing your AA is bad, it wouldn't be a bad idea to buddy up with somebody who has strong AA, like Cleveland, for example, or a U.S. Battleship, something like that, that can help cover the air threats for you. Surface detection 11.1 kilometers is actually, if not the best, I think second best of the Tier 8 battleships. So it's actually got a pretty small surface detection. Not that that makes a huge difference in a battleship, but it's nice to be good at something, I suppose. Let's take a look here at the details. So this boat does come precise aim and rapid reload both. They're both level 2 skills. You do get 2 of each. Captain skills, definitely recommend taking the one that adds to those. It's definitely worth it in the long run. Historical camouflage, pretty straightforward. You get that 6% to your torpedo damage reduction, 4% to your range, a little bit short on, or a little bit of a buff on the dispersion and your hit points. Pretty typical. Nothing too fancy there. Captain skills, like I said, fire supremacy, get yourself an extra precise aim and an extra rapid reload. Marksman, to buff your precise aim. Master reloader to buff your rapid reload. Level 9, I did go close quarters combat expert, just because I do find myself brawling in it a little bit, and it was nice to have the buff there to the dispersion on the secondaries. Also helps if you get rushed by a destroyer. Guns will be a little more accurate. APCS is a must on a battleship, I think. And then equipment. As usual, slot 1, you can always make the argument to go with main battery mod 1, so your turrets turn faster. The argument is always there for main battery mod 3 to buff your dispersion. That 7% buff to the dispersion, though, I don't know that's really going to be worth it in the long run, just because the dispersion is iffy at best anyways, and you do have precise aim, so there's always that. So I ended up going with auxiliary armament mod 1, not for the boost to the AA range, because if you're launching shit in the air, it doesn't matter if you can launch it further, it's still shit. But for the secondary battery firing range, I do find myself using my secondaries and getting into secondary range, and so if I can stretch that out a little further, it's only going to help me. And then I went with my tried and true trusted standbys for slots 2 and 3, acceleration and steering. While we're here, like I said, torpedo defense modification. This, along with this guy here, gets you just shy of 40% torpedo damage reduction if you run that plus equipment slot 3 plus historical camo. It comes up to like 39.96, I think, is when I looked at it on my press account. It was really close. So, which is just crazy. It's already super high. So if you want to buff that, go for it. Knock yourself out, but that's not the way I went. So anyways, I think that is all for a rundown of the boat. I do have some gameplay footage for you guys we're going to jump into. Got a couple of clips just showing you kind of what the dispersion looks like, what the turning looks like, and then I have a couple longer clips just that I thought would be fun to show. So anyways, let's get to it. So, for starters here, it's about 10.5, not quite 11 kilometers on a Wichita, 8 out of 9, not too bad. I'll take that. And I got the precise aim running, so that definitely helped. Here's another 9. Another 8 hits. 17,000 damage against a Wichita in 2 salvos with 16 hits, so a little over 1,000 per hit average. Not too bad. And we're going to lose sight of him here in a second, but that's okay. Shots are still going to be fired. And there goes the Wichita. And here's to show you just shy of 12 kilometers on the North Carolina. Without precise aim, 2 modules. That was another good salvo. No precise aim, 12 kilometers against the North Carolina. Take that. Didn't end up getting the kill on this Kagero, and he lagged a little bit right there. But I was still pretty happy that we had gotten some good damage against him. And Split's torpedoes ended up catching him, so good job, Split. So that was 8 main gun hits against that ACAT. I had AP loaded, so I didn't do a ton of damage, but still got 8 main gun hits on him. So, this is a little bit of a longer clip just because it was a good engagement. That is Surgeon, you can see there from FND, who is a player who I respect quite a bit. And yes, I did kind of chase him down and focus him, but sorry, Surgeon, I wasn't going to give you the ability to do what you do and run around and kill everybody. So sorry, man, but you had to go. Makes for good television. You did unfortunately hang a left right after I fired those shots, so that salvo I only got 1 hit, but the salvo before was pretty solid with the Citadel, and yeah, sorry about this, man. I'll take it. So, Iowa coming in at us. So we saw against that Chapaya, we were rolling about 4,100 for a Citadel. Against the Iowa, a little less, 37 and change. You know, Battleship's higher damage reduction and whatnot. So, but that was still a decent salvo against him. And we're going to get another one here. So, puts out some damage when it wants to. Oh, this is a good one too. So no precise aim. That's a rune at 12.5 kilometers. No precise aim. 8 out of 9. That was one where the dispersion was working in my favor. Real quick here, make a note. Okay, we're 3 minutes into the match. I have no hits, no damage done. Okay, those were literally the first shots I had taken the entire game, and we were halfway through. So the red team didn't want to push B very hard, and I did have a couple of plane kills, so somebody else did most of the work, and I cleaned them up with the crappy AA on this thing. But this is a little bit of a longer clip, and that's because I still ended up doing a decent amount of damage. So I left this one in to show you guys not only kind of just how the play runs with Roma, but also the fact that in 3 minutes, the last 3 minutes of the match, spoiler alert, I put up about 65,000 damage. So, you know, not a record-breaking game by any stretch, but considering I spent the first literally half the match not having fired a shot at anybody, to put up 65K in 3 minutes, I was pretty happy with. So we're going to let this one run for a minute, and then I got one more after this, and we'll be back to talk about it some more too.
enemy team is about to win. Fast reload activated. We're under attack. Enemy torpedoes spotted. Target penetrated. Precise aim activated.
That was a fun one, huh? So this is the last clip I have for you guys, and this was actually one, I think my first or second actual game running in the Roma, and because I was afraid of carriers, I did have my buddy lost in his Cleveland. Of course, the game didn't put us next to each other at the start, but it worked out because there wasn't a carrier anyways. So this was I was pretty happy with this game, especially in a brand new ship that I was trying to get the hang of, and yeah, I thought it went pretty well. So I'm not going to talk the whole way through it, and we're not going to watch it all the way to the very end, just because I do end up dying. But we did end up winning the match. It was a good outcome. Lost tried hard to get the last kill, and just didn't quite have enough time. So anyways, I'm going to let it run, let you guys watch it. I want to say thank you so much for spending your time with me. Let me show you the new ship. I can't wait until a few more people have it, because I think it's going to be a fun ship to play more against and to play more within a division. So looking forward to seeing some more of you guys having Romas out there. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video and subscribing to the channel. Leave comments, let me know what you think, and what you guys want to see more of next time. So thank you again. Hope you have a good day, and we'll see you out there.
Enemy torpedoes spotted. Precise aim activated. Good job. Nice shot. We hit the enemy. Target hit. Good shot. Fast reload activated. This team is about to win. We're hit. Precise aim activated.